This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is a special episode of the Dressage Radio Show with our Courtney King-Dye update, since Courtney suffered that serious accident a few weeks ago now. And I'm joined again by Lendon Gray, her good friend and former trainer, who's been keeping a very watchful eye on her. Lendon, you've got some wonderful news for us, I believe.
Yes, she is very awake, very alert, and is now very clearly communicating. She communicates not by words yet. She's not talking at all, but by nodding and shaking her head, by smiling or frowning, a thumbs up sign. And on Thursday in therapy, they started using a letter board so that she can point to letters to spell words, and understand that, you know, her hand moves slowly. It's not something she can quickly point to letters. And so Thursday she was doing this by request. In other words, the therapist would say, point to the A or point to the Q. And on Friday she started initiating words. And so there is absolute now she's alert enough and awake enough that you know, you're able to communicate, ask her questions, and have sort of conversations, most of it being you asking questions and she giving a yes, no. So that's a huge step forward. Mentally, she's very, very much with us. Physically, she has a long road ahead, and lots of therapy that she is diving into. She always does a little more than they ask, and is able now to move herself a little bit. You know, when they get her in and out of bed, she can sort of help. She's not standing, she's not sitting up completely on her own, but progress in that area is also coming every day.
And I'm sure that the therapy must be pretty intense, both physically and mentally for her. And so she has a daily regime, I'm assuming, Lendon, that helps her progress with all these different dynamics now.
Absolutely. Every day or every weekday, and then the family carries it on somewhat on the weekends, she has physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. And maybe starting some other sort of special therapies pretty soon to help her on the road. And those are intensive and pretty much takes up her day, so that by evening she's pretty tired, ready for sleep.
And you had mentioned the last time we spoke, Lendon, that she had dogs visiting her regularly now.
Yes, her two dogs, her little dachshund Viva and her big white dog Quiver, are brought down regularly, and she goes down and meets them in the sort of a reception area, and they've spent hours together actually. And there's also a therapy dog that regularly visits at Kessler, and she interacts with that dog as well.
And you had mentioned when she was going to be moved to this facility, Lendon, that there was also a possibility of a horse being brought to her, presumably not in the building, but to
right.
What's the news on that? Is that in the plans?
Well, it's absolutely in the plan. We haven't done it yet. It's sort of when she's sort of ready and asks for. I mean, now we can communicate and say, "Do you want this?" And so when she's ready for that, we're ready to do it.
That's amazing. So very, very encouraging progress all round. And you had mentioned before that one side was more functional than the other. Is that still the case, or is there progress on both sides now?
Well, there's strong progress on the left side, which is the side that has always, been more mobile, and very, very slight, but a little bit of progress on the right side.
And you'd also mentioned, I think the last time we spoke, that her track tube had been removed and that was inserted into her throat, right? So that
yes.
What happens now?
That's been removed, and now, of course, from where the trach tube was, there's a hole, and so that has to heal, and for her to speak easily, that has to heal up, so we'll see at what point, hopefully, the speech comes back.
Well, I would imagine that was a very happy Easter for all of you connected with Courtney.
Yes, absolutely was. Absolutely. And once again, if I can take this moment to just give a thank you to everyone who's been so gracious, and the lovely notes, the cards, the little gifts, as well as some financial support. It's so greatly, greatly appreciated by all of us.
Well, it's wonderful news, Lendon, and I hope you'll come back and continue to give us these updates, because the progress now is simply amazing, and I'm sure our listeners are just delighted to hear such wonderful, wonderful progress, and to be kept appraised of how Courtney is progressing. So I appreciate you spending time with us. I know it's been a very busy time for you, traveling around. I know, and you teach, if you're doing your teaching job, and you're keeping an eye on the business for her too, I believe.
Yes, I actually was last week in Florida with her students who did their last show this past weekend, and the horses that are with her will be coming north the middle of the month with her very capable assistant, Jen Marchand, and these horses are being kept going for her in hopes that in the not too far distant future she'll be able to be part of it, whether teaching or riding.
Well, we look forward to those prospects too, Lendon. Thank you so much again for joining us with these updates, and we will bring you more as Lendon becomes available to us here on the Dressage Radio Show. You can hear the full episodes of the Dressage Radio here at dressageradio.com, and our multiple affiliates around the world. We're now in 37 countries, and we're delighted to share this news of Courtney's progress with our audiences around the world. So thanks again to Lendon, and we look forward to bringing you more updates here on the Dressage Radio Show.